Happy eclipse and equinox, my loves. Hope you're doing well. Today, we are going to dive into those heart chakra messages, which feels beautiful and aligned for these energies. And there's no accidents that it happened to sync up in unison. So, I wanted to share a little bit of what came through in the Sacred Union Stabilization Heart Chakra session, which was quite beautiful. These sessions are definitely working in a really beautiful series. I see exactly why I was guided to do them in this order. And the main thing that came through that feels really significant and important was this area of the shared space, especially in the heart chakra, the heart center, where the counterparts had this energy connected to scar tissue. And the way that it came through as I've been processing is the area we talk about the core separation wound, right? Or that core soul wound. And of course, when you think of a wound or a rip, there is a healing process with that, right? A debriding, a clearing out of the old energies, a clearing out of the pain and the trauma. But there's also energetic scar tissue. Think of this as those protective mechanisms, those defense mechanisms that protected us, right? To support us to get to where we are, whether it's this life or throughout millennia, through other lives, through other dimensions. Part of how we as a human being survived is scar tissue, right? Scars, actually, wherever we've had a wound, we get that on our physical body. But when we think about this in terms of spiritual, emotional, energetic, mental wounding, it comes in that, I see it in that energetic form. So there was a lot of dissolving and resolving of scar tissue within the systems, but also in the shared space. And this is really coming down to dissolving the trauma bond energy that is in our system with all of our connections, but also with the counterpart. Because when we can release any of the trauma bonding, it actually just allows our systems to restore to its natural nature and the natural energy of the connection. When we think about our projections and our judgments and our expectations, those are not really our natural nature. Those are all defense and protective mechanisms that we have built up over generations and over lifetimes, again, to protect ourselves. But if we're restoring back to the truth in our natural nature, there's really not a need for us to grab onto, to hold onto, or to try to control these energies because the truth will always present when we give it the space and the grace to do so. So it's very important in our tempered energies that the biggest part is that there's really nothing for us to need to hold on to because the truth will always be present, my loves, right? So when we can focus on just accepting the connection, accepting the love that's present, accepting the truth of what things are, no matter how they are physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and then allowing ourselves to just be in our own natural nature will actually just allow things to unfold again naturally. And when I say accept things, acceptance doesn't necessarily mean that you choose to participate. Okay. So you can accept circumstances as they are, but if they are not physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually supportive to your physical life, You can just honor that and say, okay, I got to do my thing. You got to do your thing. That doesn't feel like supportive to my process at this time. So I'm just going to give you the space and grace to go do whatever you need to do. I'll be over here doing my thing, and things will naturally realign when our energies are syncing up in the physical. You see what I mean? And I'm talking about this, of course, as the energy between the masculine and feminine counterparts, twin flames. Those of you that connect with a sacred union partnership, regardless of what you describe it as, okay? When it really comes down to this energy and essence of unconditional love is for yourself and for another. Unconditional love does not mean that we necessarily participate in everything. We can accept it, we can honor it, we can let it be what it is, but we as a physical human being get to decide what we choose to focus our energy and attention upon. And again, what we are learning from these sacred union connections are priceless, because as we embody those things, as we embody the unconditional love for ourselves and another, when we can accept it as it is while still holding our standards and yet discerning what's correct for us without judging another's process, right? This is a dance. And yes, some of you might look at me and say, Danielle, I get what you're saying, but it's not always that easy to actually know how to do that in the physical world. I get it. I've been there. I still find pockets like that. It's why I'm here, right? This is what we're doing. We are learning, we are embodying, and it's through the embodiment process that we actually learn how to hold those things simultaneously, right? Because spiritually and intellectually, we can completely and totally understand the concept of unconditional love, right? That's a part of our natural nature. But then as you drop down into physicality and you're walking around on this planet, you might choose to not interact with people if it's not safe, if it's not kind, if it is not healthy, right? Because the truth is on our planet, there are still energies of codependence and abuse and trauma and pain and projection. There are still things that are occurring on our planet that are not savory and positive and supportive. We can't deny that. It's important that we look at the reality of our planet and the reality of the nature of some of the things that are occurring within the dualistic energies that we're residing in or that are residing around us, right? Because the truth is as we temper, as we hold ourselves, as we learn how to embody into our internal union energies, in releasing the trauma bonds, releasing the expectations, accepting things as they are, but then also continuing to hold the standard for something better by actually embodying the change that we want to see in the world, and then finding solutions for yourself. First off, right? Because if we want to share solutions with others, it's important that we learn how to embody them for ourselves so that we can actually hold that with another. Because we can speak these concepts for days, we can understand them intellectually, but are we holding them? Are we embodying them? And when we think that we are we actually? Right? There's a lot of this that's sort of unfolding and opening, and it's a part of our evolution and it's a part of our ascension. And this is why I am continuing to be passionate about the masculine and feminine sacred union collective. Because those of you who have been initiated by this love, by this connection, again, whatever way it came to you and wherever it sits today, the fact that you're open to wanting to evolve yourself, to embody more of who you are, As you are learning to love and embody all of who you are, it becomes much easier to accept others for who they are. And I can't really, in this moment, settle on a better way than embodying unity consciousness, right? At this moment, this is what I know how to do. Does it mean it's the only way? I'm guessing it's not, but it is something that I have been learning to embody more and more. And so it's why I share my perspectives. Does anybody need to do it the way that I do it? Absolutely not. But do I share from my heart space genuinely? Yes. And then you take what you take and you use it how you use it for inspiration, for confirmation. Maybe even sometimes I say something where you're like, Danielle, maybe not right now. I'm in a different pocket. Perfect. Go do you. Follow what is in front of you, right? We're all walking our own pathways, right? And it's all perfect in so many ways, right? And I talked in my most recent video about focusing on progress over perfection. And there was a comment about, as you know, the imperfection, the perfection, and everything is perfect, even as it's not perfect, right? Exactly. That's kind of the point. Everything does happen for a reason, and everything is happening in divine and perfect timing. Does it mean that everything is playing out in a satisfactory, happy-go-lucky, perfect way in terms of unity consciousness and unconditional love? Well, no, of course not. You can turn on any channel at any given moment and see that there's not an embodiment of unconditional love and unity consciousness present massively on our planet. So we have to, again, be honest about what it is, okay? But we can still continue to focus on the perfection and the opportunity. Each and everything that is occurring and opening, each experience, each conversation, each meme, each video, each expression is an opportunity for us to go deeper into exploring and discovering our own truth, right? So, even witnessing or seeing things that make us uncomfortable, things that we might consider dark or shadows, may be the very things that are there and present to inspire us to find a solution. Okay. I have this saying that I feel deeply and I follow it. The darkness is always in service to the light. If the light is willing to see the gift in the lesson within the message that is being presented, the energy, the opportunity. This is where coming out of the tit for tat, the competition, the fighting, the look at my opinion or that opinion or this opinion. This is the type of dynamics that we see rampant between the masculine and feminine, not just the left and the right and the dark and the light and X, Y, and Z, right? What I see is really everyone just wants to be loved and accepted for who they are regardless. And there's one thing that we can all agree on is that we're human beings on planet Earth, right? There is a oneness energy that is present within all of us, right? I don't know. I feel like I could keep going with this, but this is the point. This is the heart space, right? This is where we can choose to release the trauma bond, to release the judgment, to release the expectation, right? From ourselves, from the counterpart, and how this most gorgeously ripples out to the collective, to every part of our life. It starts inside the microcosm to the macrocosm. And I also find it beautiful that we can do this in a way where we're clearing these energies out with the intention of releasing the protective rigidity and embodying discernment, unconditional self love, making your focus and your vision and your dreams for a better world your priority, right? When we focus on embodying and building solutions, it's so much more effective to spend our energy in those ways versus fighting the opposing side, right? And I know that you guys get this, right? It's so much of what this initiation is about, right? The duality and bringing in the temperance. Whatever your counterpart, masculine or feminine, mirrored to you, they mirrored to you the depths of beauty and love and togetherness and union and merge and oneness, right? And then there was the opposing extreme of separation, of rejection, of whatever, the pain that any one of you have felt on the other side of that initial soul merge, love bubble phase, right? The separation is a level of pain that you've never experienced. So you have this level of love you didn't experience and this level of pain that you didn't experience. And our minds want to think that this is confusing, but in truth, you were initiated into the extremes so that you could embody and stabilize and hold in the dualistic energies while holding a tempered state, right? Looking at and holding your own shadows and your own light, being able to harness and work with those energies in a way that you are the one that's in control of it, right? We're human. We're going to get triggered. We're going to have emotions that are uncomfortable. But how we respond to those is huge. How we handle it, how we process it, how we recover, what we do with the information once we process the trauma and we get down to the facts. How are we utilizing that information to progress solutions? Because the emotions that are uncomfortable, the triggers are there to tell you that something doesn't feel quite right. It doesn't mean you have to go out and fight it in terms of like tug of war. It's an opportunity to say, this doesn't feel right. Why? How can I shift it within myself? How can I process it? And then how can I come back to the table with a solution? And this is exceedingly important because if you're wanting to stabilize sacred union with another, these skills of being able to problem solve, to be able to work with and process your own information so that you're clean and clear enough to come and actually listen and hear and receive what another has to say from their wisdom, right? That is when you're like, okay, I've processed mine. I understand I'm gaining my internal wisdom. I feel comfortable with where I'm at. And now, because I am there, I can open up and listen to what he has to say or what she has to say. Even though they might be the one who initially triggered me, I understand that there's a perspective that they're holding that's clearly different from mine, but that's for a reason. What is making them tick? What is making them think like that? And if I'm open enough to listen to what they have to say, what can I learn? What can I discover? It's my job to be open to honoring other people's experiences because I haven't walked in their shoes the same way they haven't walked in mine. And when we're truly embodying into the heart space, as we have internal union with ourselves, it becomes effortless to hold space with another, even if they have completely different opinions. Even if their experience is completely different, their perspective is different. Of course it is. They've lived a different life. When we can accept who we are and simultaneously accept who another is, even when we don't have the same perspective, that is when you will know you are truly embodying your inner union and your true confidence. Being confident in yourself means that you're comfortable experiencing life with other people who don't have the same ideas, opinions, and perspectives, right? So, yes, we also can find it helpful to have people who do have similar perspectives and ideas and ways of being. That's important too, right? We can all have a seat at the table if we're doing it respectfully, right? Anyway, I can't help it. This feels like important to seed this energy on this very, very, very powerful day. So, again, I'm going to put the information to that session in the pinned comment. And I'm also going to open up and just hold the space and the grace for any messages, any energy, any support that would like to channel through in this moment to support the sacred heart space, the heart chakra, for any and all who will ever participate in this recording, with the intention of strengthening the internal union and the sacred union energies. Of course, welcoming in the highest source of our creation, your higher self, our direct connection to the heart of Mother Earth in her pure form and essence. And what I would like to do is to just hold the space for divine truth to support any one of you who feel it's aligned to participate within this. And if there's any energetic scar tissue, residuals from past pains and hurts and projections that are up or present in your system that are ready to be dissolved and resolved, yes, let's just give that some space to begin to melt and release. And as these energies dissolve, just take a nice deep breath into your heart space, welcoming in more and more and more of your soul essence into your body, as well as letting any of that gorgeous essence of your heart that may have been suppressed beneath the wound, beneath the scar tissue. And I would like you to breathe into this space. And with each breath, just ignite that internal flame, your own internal twin flame, your inner feminine, your inner masculine essences, your inner child, just your inner essences in general, all of who you are. You are made in the image of our Creator, the source of our creation, Mother, Father, God. Just allow that truth to gently ignite within you or reignite, strengthen your ignition wherever your gorgeous internal flame is. Beautiful. Yes. Allow yourself to breathe into your own heart space, igniting your own essence, your own love with your own sacred breath, the gift from our source, the embodiment of your soul essence into this physical form. What a gorgeous gift to be present, to experience life on so many levels. And in this moment, what I would like to do is to welcome in all of the energies that are so grateful that you are present here. The sacred elements of air and fire and water and earth. The sacred energies of the oceans and the sun, the winds and the trees, the animals and the plants. Just feeling your deep connection to the heavens and your deep connection to the earth, and where they all meet in that sacred heart space, where your higher self and your physical human self meet and dance into the sacred heart space, into the left side of your heart chakra, and into the right side of your heart chakra. And with each breath, you're strengthening your own essence and life force within your own physical body, and allowing your true heart essence to feel safe to open up for you. And of course, dropping in your discernment and your standards. Yes, and through that series, it came in the energy of an filtration system that just automatically supports your system with receiving what is aligned for it and simply releasing or repelling what is not aligned. Ooh, listen to that. My voice is already shifting as we will be preparing to go into the throat chakra in the coming days. I did notice that the upper chakras are definitely preparing already. So some of you may be noticing that as well. And as each of you are within your own stream of supported essence from source to the earth, you're each in charge of your own sacred stream and bubble of supportive energy. And your system will continue to fan your own flames as you dissolve your own scar tissue and embody your essence deeper and deeper. And giving thanks to our source, your higher self, and Mother Earth. And just allowing your system to work with these energies in the perfect way for you. Again, for any of you who would like to go deeper into these energies, the Sacred Union series is still in process of being shared. Right now, there is access for the root, sacral, solar, and heart chakras. And again, we have 4 more sessions that are coming over the next 4 weeks. All of that information will be in the pinned comment. You can peruse and look at what was in the sessions that have happened so far over on the post tab. And again, I think I would like to close this with a shared space message from the unicorns are coming through. In that space session, it was really gorgeous because the energy of the auroras came through. And these cards, the unicorn cards, actually hold a lot of that essence. It really feels like this space that your soul essence is the magic. It's what embodies and illuminates the physical vessel, right? It's what brings the magic to the physical. Oh, beautiful. Passion. Do what excites you, get fired up about your life, increase your energy levels. Look at that. Wow. And we literally just talked and did the session around the internal flame, right? Your internal essence. How can you support that? Again, we're going to tie this whole message all together back to the beginning. As you focus on fanning your own flame, finding your own solutions, it actually is not only self-loving, but the more you love and care for yourself, the more you can love and care for others. How you hold yourself, how you prioritize yourself, how you show up for yourself. All of those things are what illuminate how you interact with others, right? So, my loves, drop into self-passion. Find what you are passionate about and how can you be a part of the solutions. Okay. Very beautiful. Love this. Gonna leave it here. This probably got a little bit long, but this is where we're at. I'm gonna send you so much love, and I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day, night, equinox, eclipse. And oh yeah, we move into Libra season tomorrow. So the balance coming deeper and deeper into our presence in the physical. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care.